Okay, quick explanation of Skin Safe Serrations, how they work, how they look, and what that means for you. All right, we got our prototype here. This is the Skin Safe Serrated side. This is just junk that came with the knife, not to be worried about. Okay, we got our technical drawings to show you how it happens. I want you to notice that we have side A and side B, and this is simple enough, side A, side B, and then in the middle we have what it looks like from the blade. All right, so I want you to notice that these are relatively standard looking serration channels is what I'm calling them, places where the blade is ground away by usually a spinning round rotor to grind away and make those serrations. So my big difference is two things. For one, I'm doing the serration from both sides of the blade, and for two, I'm offsetting those serrations from one side to the other, which gives us this curved line coming down the blade here. That's the most, well, actually, probably the second most important part, but you'll need to understand this to understand the next drawing, or I guess the one after this. So again, side A, and we see side A serrations here, but we're also showing a transparency with side B serrations. So the dotted lines here are the edges of the side B serrations, just as the solid lines here are the edges of the side A serrations, just like we can see here. So we have solid lines here, and dotted lines are what we have coming on back here. So peaks of the serration, you'll notice, are in between the shallowest points of the serration when looking at it this way. That makes sense. Peaks in between the valleys, okay? But then also the peaks of the serration are in between those two offset sides of the blade. And what that means is that as we look here, the peaks of the serration, just like we have the peaks here, those peaks are oriented here and here and here and here, okay? Right down the middle of the blade. What that means is that we have curves going on two different planes, which creates, this is the perspective view from the handle into the knife, so as if you were looking at the knife from this direction. What that means is we have curved peaks running down the center of the blade and at offset angles to each other, okay? So you have a curved peak. Just gonna straighten up here a little bit. So you have these serrations falling in line with each other, curved peaks each one, and that they're set at an offset from each other. So you have one cutting at an angle this direction, and the next one cutting at an angle this direction. The whole length of the blade, one right after the other, cutting in different directions. And what that means is that no two consecutive serrations are cutting at the same angle, which is a motion that your skin is exceptionally resilient to. Your skin is very resilient to abrasions, so what this basically becomes is an abrasing serration, and abrasions are something that your skin is naturally very resilient to. We saw lots of tests with the rope, and you can just saw and saw and saw away all day at skin, and you will abrase you, but it's not going to cut you. It's very light. So after the testing we did yesterday, just sawing and sawing and sawing on my hand all day, we have some like rashy spots basically, where my skin is just kind of worn out, kind of like as if I had scraped it across some pavement as if skateboarding or something like that. But major cuts, no problem. This is from yesterday, minor scratches. After cutting pretty hard on them a couple times, this is from when I cut a rope, let someone else cut a rope on my, across my arm there. This is where I let somebody else that was walking by cut a rope, just cut a rope and then, yeah. Extremely functional, super safe. Skin safe.